Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another FIFA 22 video where today I'm going to be sharing with you which I think is probably my favorite formation in the game right now and what I think is the best formation in the game, and it is the 3-4-1-2. I absolutely love this formation because it has a lot of things that go and sort of align with the way that I like to play FIFA. You know, I use the wing backs in an attacking sense, so they get forwards. Obviously, you can see we've got Cancelo, we've got Garrincha. It's got a cam, which I love playing with. It's got two strikers, which I really enjoy playing with. So it really has everything that I enjoy when it comes to playing FIFA. And of course, having three centre-backs is really handy as well. Obviously, having Tavernier on that right-hand side to cover for the times when Garrincha is going forward. So I do think this is, for me personally, one of the best formations in the game. And it's the one that I enjoy using right now. I know a lot of people like the 3-5-2. Obviously, I like the 5-2-1-2 earlier in the year. But I think for me, this is the one that I seem to have the most success with. I've played probably about 60 games since switching to this formation about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I think I've only lost about 3 games. Like, I've genuinely won like 55, 56 out of 60 games. I'm just smashing everybody because it's so good at creating chances because of the way we've got it set up, but yet it's very, very good defensively. The only time you ever have any real issues with this formation is on the counter attack. You know, if you turn the ball over very, very quickly, there is that initial space where the wing backs don't get back into position, so that space can be exploited, and that's generally the only times that you ever will struggle defensively with this formation. So it's so good offensively, but yet it's so good defensively as well. Now, without further ado, going into the tactics that I use for this formation, these are the tactics that I use at the moment. Now, balanced on the defensive style because it's the only one that really works, and the thing about using balanced on the defensive style, it allows you to then have the strength defensively. When you play on a press or anything like that, it benefits you offensively, but obviously it's negatively impacts you defensively. So playing on balanced allows you to obviously control the way your team plays a little bit more, but also more importantly, it allows me to still have control defensively and not have too many players out of position. So balance is definitely the way you need to go. When it comes to the defensive width, I've just leave it on around about 50. I haven't needed to change this at any point. Obviously, I've been winning a lot of games, so if something's working, you don't need to change it. In terms of the depth, I've gone for around about 55. Now, this might seem for some people a bit low, for some people a bit high. Normally, I like to play on around about 65, but because we don't have the fullbacks, I don't want to go too high. You know, it's really important that you don't make yourself too exposed. So 55 I find is a good number. I still obviously create loads of chances. Most games I finish with, 15, 16 shots, which is crazy. The XG is like 6.5 or something like that. So it's not really affecting us defensively either, because we're not really conceding too many goals. Maybe the odd one here and there, if we play against a really good player, maybe we'll concede 2 or 3. But, we're managing to score so many goals. So this is just a really sweet spot. It just seems to work with this formation, and especially my play style. And that's really important that your play style works with your formation and your tactics as well. When it comes to the build-up play as well, we can just go on balance, which might seem very, very surprising for some people. But I like to play a lot of sort of the quick tiki-taka fast play, but I don't want to go on fast build-up because I found that when you play like this is what starts to open your team up defensively, and especially not having any fullbacks. With the players and the quality of players that are playing the game now, you're just going to get torn apart. So I like to play on balance because it gives my team the structure, but then the way I play is quick, and so I have that fast build up in the way that I play, using lots of give and goes and things like that. But I still get to keep the balanced shape of the team, which is really important. The only time we go a little bit attacking is when we get in the final third, which is really important. When you get into that final third, if you want to be an effective attacker and score more goals, you have to be quicker and you have to react a lot faster in the final third. So that's why we have direct passing. Also, if it means midfielders and whatnot are running and getting out of position, you're in the final third. Your opponent's got to run 70 yards to score. And if they run 70 yards to score, either you've defended badly or they've attacked very, very well. So it's very low risk by going direct passing. It obviously gives us the potential to score more goals. And even if we do turn over possession, my opponent's got to, have a pretty much a perfect counter-attack to then go and score and get past me. So it's okay to play on direct passing. Allows you to obviously have those good opportunities offensively. Offensive width, we've gone for 65. I want a little bit of width in this team. Obviously, we're playing left and right mids. And their job is mainly to get forwards, break in behind, and use the width for sort of, you look for them for cutbacks, for overlaps, and things like that. So you really got to utilize their pace, but they've got to be out wide to do that. and then that just gives you an extra dynamic when it comes to attacking, because if you had them super narrow, every pass is going to be inwards, and it's going to be really easy to predict. So having that width makes it very good for offensive purposes. And then players in the box, I've left it on 5 because I want the instructions to dictate that. The corners and free kicks, up to you. I have them on 1 because I always go short for corners, and it then just kind of limits the risk again for potential counterattacks because I have more players back. But if you want to have a few more players in the box, then feel free to up that to 3 or whatever you feel comfortable with. So when it comes to the instructions, of course, Alisson, who is an amazing goalkeeper. He makes so many clutch saves for me, which is really important, because occasionally not having fullbacks, you know, having the odd time where you are a little bit exposed, which does happen from very rarely, but it does happen from time to time. Having a really good goalkeeper can make some good saves, and Alisson definitely does that. But we have him on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper, which is really the standard stuff for me. And then when it comes to the 3 centre-backs, of course, they're all going to be on stay back while attacking. Of course, you know, pretty standard stuff there. When it moves into the midfield, we've got Vieira and Kessié as the 2 sort of pit bulls in midfield. Both of them we've actually got on balanced attack, and both of them we've got on balanced crossing runs. Now, that might seem a little bit aggressive for 2 centre midfielders, but that's the thing. They are centre midfielders, so they do need to get forwards and attack, but they obviously have to have good defensive qualities as well, which is quite surprising because of these 2. Vieira is actually the one that's quite disappointing. I've played about 100 games in, but quite disappointed with him, and I don't think he's actually that good. But Kessié is very good in this position, and maybe because Vieira is not very good offensively, so sometimes he gets in some offensive positions and can't quite cut it. So it's really important that you've got proper box-to-box mids, you know, someone like Bellingham, someone like De Bruyne, someone like Pedri, someone like Modric. They're really good players. Tonali, they're great players to have in this position because they can attack and defend, and that's really what you need in this position. So then we go out wide to Garrincha and we go out wide to Cancelo. When we're using these guys, we have them on comeback on defense because that's what gives us a little bit more strength defensively. If you was to have these guys on basic defensive support, which I've tried out, this makes it way too easy for people to attack. This is when you start having big problems with the 3-back formations. You have to maybe think about people in real life that play with a 3-back formation. Someone like Antonio Conte, when he plays a 3-back formation, but he makes sure that those left and right midfielders get back in and defend. And that's kind of how you have to think about it here. If these guys just sort of don't really get back and help defensively, your fullbacks, you don't have any fullbacks, so that space just constantly gets bombarded. Whereas when these guys come back, it only strengthens you defensively, but it does not hinder you offensively. So it's kind of a win-win. Of course, the balance width, I want to just leave that on balance width. I don't want to change that to cut inside. I don't want to stay wide. I want the width of my tactics to really dictate what they do. And of course, getting to the box, getting behind, is really important, because obviously you need to utilize their speed. As we said earlier, you want to make sure that they're running in behind. You want to make sure that they're creating chances. So you've really got to make sure that they are quick players as well. We've also got them on stay on edge of the box. I don't want these guys getting into the box. We have the 2 strikers, we have the cam, the 2 midfielders kind of can get in there. So we don't need everybody getting in there because you can't afford to have everyone. So I want the wide players to stay on the edge of the box, stay outside, just so they're ready to get back in position as well. More importantly, just so they're ready to run back if we lose possession, so they're in a better position. If they're in the box, for example, and you need them to run back into their sort of right wing back role for Garrincha, he's got a long way to run, so he's going to be out of position easier. If he's on the edge of the box, he's just got a better starting position to be able to get back into position. And when it comes to Ronaldinho in that central cam spot, I just want him on getting to the box for crosses. I don't want to have him on free roam, nothing like that, not for this formation. It's just not needed. You don't need to play the free roam, so just to get into the box is really relevant. And then the 2 strikers, of course, want to just be on stay central and get in behind. If you so choose, you can have them on stay forwards. I personally don't see the benefits using stay forwards. It's not really ever been something I've liked. It's not been something I've ever needed. And the stay central and getting behind just works super well. Eusebio scores so many goals, which is crazy. But both of these guys, generally, it would be better if you get 2 players who can complement each other. So obviously, Eusebio and Ben Yedder, quite similar players. They work very well. They work well off each other. And obviously having then the skill moves behind of someone like Ronaldinho and Garrincha. So we have a really good blend in this team. And that's what's really important. You've got to make sure that the blend of your players suits your play style, which then suits the tactics you play, which then suit the formation you're playing. And that's how you'll get a lot more success out of playing FIFA. Obviously, FIFA this year is kind of winding down. It's coming towards the end. So if there are any videos you guys would like to see over the course of the summer, do let me know down in the comment section down below. If you do enjoy this formation, let me know as well how it goes to you in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. But that is all today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.